いいんですよ、中段から。
Previous, Okinawa's old sprouts. Nachai, not a joke to the principal. Joking by the administration did not exist. It was after the Meiji era that the government was able to joke. This is made by Dr. Yasushi Itosu of Shiodome. After all, in Nahate and Shiodome, it clearly appears that Mr. Miyagi himself has actually been instructed by Mr. Yasuyasu Itosu. At that time, apparently a joke came into the Nahate, Goju system. Originally, in Goju, the use of a fist called a joke was up to the height of the throat. I didn't get through my throat at all. Both the administration and the fist, in the case of Nahate, I can open my hands slightly. The administration was also much more striking, and in truth, this was enough in time, as a special way of making a joke. It is the original Nahate that the shape of the so-called fluorescent fist is flat pierced. Only one of these bearded buds protruded, so-called sticking in the shoulder. I use it for shields, but as a special way to joke, I actually use this form. Why did you get this shape? If you aim at the nose with a fluorescent fist, the fist often enters the eyeball directly. Aim next to the nose streaks. Please look closely, I can't, but please keep a look at it. When you reach with your right hand, aim for the left nose. Aim here. If you glide towards here, it will be in your eyes as it is. So in the past, I used to do that kind of special way, and when I was kidding with my fist, in fact, I hit the bone under this eye, and it just hurts here. It will be black, but it will not be fatal. But if you hold it in this form while holding it here, attack the nose and enter the eyes with bread, it used to be that one eye was completely crushed. Actually, this is actually a heavy hand grip. There is an example where a fist comes in before holding properly and one eye jumps out. So it's all over there. This is just a lesson in the dojo, and it happened to the present situation. But that person was decidedly blind. I still worked hard and took 3 steps to the end with one eye. Instead, the sense of distance is empty, so it seems to have been difficult later. Just understand that slowly I dare to publish this anyway. But it is a technique that cannot be used. So if you have to hit the top of something, the safest thing is to hold your fist firmly. Anyway, from the neck to the top. So the original gift of old is almost all of your back from your neck, and your aim is almost lower. As a special example, there is a special case of hitting rice paper, turning and swinging. I hardly used it with a positive fist. Just understand that in a regular fist, the sweetness of this grip is terribly scary. Teachers should be careful about this. So be careful if you see a strange, pale grip in free comment. Please hold it because it's dangerous. Thank you for that one. Yes, the next, and I pushed the upper part now, but the middle part did not aim for the middle line originally. The aim is here, so when you push your fist, you don't aim at the middle, but aim at this. Be firm there. The median line is very difficult to capture the median line of a human being, especially for the middle stage. This is almost no effect, even if you aim at the midline. Hold up for a moment. Take a look at this. This or your right hand, push the midline. You must slip. Toviv here, it doesn't slip at all. So when you poke, you have to enter from now on. I don't hold my fist. On the contrary, it is safer to hold a fist. I think it's okay because it's my chest. This is absolutely okay to poke here. There is damage to the opponent if you poke in this way. This is my chest now, so it's a muscle, so I'm going this far. If you poke where there is no muscle, the impact will be extremely strong. After all, you have to drive in 2 steps. Please remember, I won't hit it again. This is the first time when you poke, move further while holding on. It's not like this from the beginning, right? Touch the cheek and then clench. It's fine to stay open until you touch the opponent. Always touch before thrusting. So in the current sparring and various sparring, this is not originally a thrust, but now it's already clenched here. Everything that's clenched scatters on the surface. It doesn't penetrate inside, so please remember that point firmly. Even with the current one, I've seen this before. I'm not thrusting with all my strength, but rather than poking with a pawn, it's better to poke with a pawn. This is it. Because by poking in 2 stages and striking, it penetrates into the opponent's body. It's the same even with grooving. Practice poking in that shape entirely. Ultimately, this shape is not useful in terms of distance. Originally, you need to get this close for a thrust. So naturally, I will explain it in the context of breaking and smashing. It means everything is at this distance. The target for the thrust is not here, but the entire back. Aim for the cross-section thrust here. You must aim for and thrust here. Please understand that clearly. Yes, please return. Now have Hasegawa-sensei grip it. Grip with the middle knuckle. Quite a solid fist. Grip with a single fist with the middle finger. Is that okay? Teacher, please take a close look at this grip. I will check if it's correct now. I will strike from above. Is that okay? It retracted. If it retracts, no matter how much it continues, it will inevitably dent. So this grip is incorrect, right? Then, teacher, please try hitting mine. Hit it with all your strength until it dents. It doesn't dent. Do you know why? The way you hold it is different. Keep your index finger extended. It takes this shape, so it shouldn't dent. Yes, that's fine. I shouldn't actually teach this, but since it's a seminar today, please teach me. I have to teach you this. Mainland teachers, even when looking at various photos, all end up like this. Some people think it's a middle school, high school, and high school one by sticking out their middle finger, not becoming a high school student researcher. If you're going to push and get dented, it's better to stick out from the beginning. The reason for that, you see, please take a look at this. Please train yourself until you can do this, no matter where you open it like this. When I finish pushing, I end up like this. You have to practice so that you can grip it from any shape. It's a strange story, but, for example, just do it a little normally. You're doing well, but, for example, you can insert a punch like this. It's a strange story at this time, but it's okay to be 1 beat late. Assuming this is a normal straight punch, it's okay to be 1 beat late. The opponent will fall if you punch like this. If this is executed beautifully and cleanly, your breath stops the moment you hit it sharply. You won't be able to move for a while, if you can get used to it and do it yourself. Please practice this grip method diligently by yourself. If you can't do this, it doesn't count as holding a shinai in junior high school. Was it Hiroshima before? If you try having a 50-year-old person from around there grip it, if you try having them grip it, Everyone grips it like this. What are you gripping with this? Therefore, what is called the fluorescent fist? You grip it with this hand. This is, for example, motobuchoki. Motobuchoki has this unique, special way of gripping when thrusting straight, or in the case of an upward thrust in reverse. This is more effective, like Goju when thrusting diagonally downward. This shape is more effective, please understand. So the thrust is coming. Even with a mid-level thrust, no matter how many times the thrust comes, I will ride on top of it. From now on, this thrust won't extend. My thrust extends with a snap. So this side's thrust, that's why with a hand fist, you use the shoulder vertically like this. That's because it's the shoulder, so I'm poking with my fingertips. Actually, I poke with this. Please understand that. For example, this is in that it comes up repeatedly. While I tend to do this, when actually poking, I open everything. When disassembling, I open everything. Please understand that part, because the shoulder is like this. With this, you poke with your fingertips. Poking with your fingertips is what people hear. Other than the eyes and throat, absolutely do not listen with your fingertips. Just by tending to do so, by creating this muscle, with this you poke and keep poking. Absolutely need movement to eliminate. Without movement to eliminate, it's no good. Please understand these things well. So when you relieve tension in your shoulders, make sure to stretch all the way to your fingertips, and then use that force. For example, in something like a pin gun, this vertical shape, in the case of a vertical shape, you can either thrust with a tendency or thrust with this shape. Hold it in one of these ways and thrust at the opponent. It won't be effective to thrust around here with something like this. Like this, it won't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you don't understand why it's done that way, that idiot, that's why the sword doesn't stand well. It ends up like that. Please do it while understanding only that. So from the current form, like this, from this form, if you put it in here again from here, it will fit perfectly. Next is a lower thrust. The lower thrust is also what is known as the basic training of iwate. You do all of them like this. Originally, it is correct to thrust from above this hand. Seiko. Remember this well. You may not notice it now, but you will understand it immediately when you try it. No, get ready, because it is supported by the left hand. Let's try receiving it in the lower position and getting up. I'll do it with the usual thrust. It's good if you can get up like that. Try it a little more with your right hand. You're going to receive it with your right hand, right? Is that okay? Please watch this spacing. I'll thrust normally now. Well, this time it's the opposite. When it enters at this angle, like this, remember what's different? Not bouncing, not bouncing, not bouncing at all, just standing like this. Normally this thrust, these hands are parallel, right? Saw everything. This is clearly visible. Yes, let's go. I couldn't see it. I use optical illusions. So in the original Super Olympics, this is all there is. Yes, yes, yes. So is it okay? Now on the side of the Super Olympics, all the young leaders are doing it like this. The old teachers, when they do it as elderly teachers, here's what we do. We use this current form. It's based on the opponent's visual illusion. By the time they realize it, it's already reached them. There are other options as well. This is how it works on the production side. That move also uses a visual illusion strike. The difference is, can I proceed now? On the production side, the hand goes in like this. Let's try using this with a straight punch. What happens when you use a straight punch? Aim for the throat from left to right. I will thrust with a series of punches. Just watch and see. I'm not doing anything. It's a matter of whether you can see it or not. You saw the Kensei Zamu, right? You can see the Kensei Zamu, right? If you can see it, it means you can avoid it. I understand. Then I'll do it one more time. You can't see it until halfway, so by the time you see it, it's already coming. Please remember that. Well, this is how you do a high-level thrust. You thrust like this for a high-level thrust. The lower level is from the top. It seems like nothing special, but this is a movement within interaction. This is how you master it. Please remember that, well, I talked about the same thing last time as well. Then this too. Let's go for an upward movement. Usually just do it normally. Okay, middle section. Okay, don't erase the lower section, continue inside. It's fine. Even if it's a give and take situation, please be careful not to put too much strength. If the defense is not stronger than the attack, you won't be able to launch the next attack. Putting all your strength into defense will leave you exhausted just from defending. So, it's not good to put in so much strength. Please understand this clearly. In Hasegawa's arm, I am mostly doing blocking. When I block, there are often cases where I can't actually receive. I will lightly push with my right hand. Try receiving with a side block using your left hand. I will strike here. Okay, I will strike. Let's do it one more time. This time it's that lower block. Please use only your right hand for my punch. Try to receive it. It's okay. The reason why this is different is it's bouncing like this. Receiving is not about striking when it comes in this direction. Capture the direction of the punch as much as possible in a flowing manner. This is the same even for a lower level block. Strike like this. This is just clashing with force. So when the strike comes, it will push this way with a thud. You can counter by punching. Even if consecutive mid-level strikes come, it will push here with a bang. And then this can be thrown out, so not like this. Elbow like this, like this, like this, like this. Using the elbow like this. For example, let's try moving sideways again. Yes, this. I'll take it. It doesn't come off, right? Bring the elbow over here. This is how you use the elbow. If you use it like this, if you strike like this, my hand is being reversed. The difference is that significant in the side flick. This also applies to raising and receiving in the upper row. If you use raising and receiving skillfully, it will come off. So what you absolutely must not do at this time is letting your elbow float. A hand with a floating elbow cannot be raised even with just one finger. Now like this, see? There. By doing this in this way, if the elbow drops and is raised, my hand goes up, but if the elbow is floating, it's the opposite. Everything up to this point will be taken away. Please remember how to use your elbows properly. Therefore, the standard for receiving techniques is all about how well you can handle your elbows. One more thing. He is a person with tremendous arm strength. It is often said that he cannot receive it, or that he receives it with both hands. Such stories come up. But the truth is, there are things that cannot be received even with one hand, and there are things that cannot be received even with both hands. So where does a person with combined strength receive it? Let me explain briefly. Human strength. When it comes to receiving techniques, I can see your power. There's this range. Normally, everyone thinks it's about receiving here, but everyone is thinking. The key is to use this whole thing. If you are a strong person, you use this part and receive using that, then any rational cut will deviate from this. Yes, 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 yes. If you do that, it will easily come off. That's why even with what happened earlier, it's the same. Because you try to receive it here, that's why it gets stuck. At that moment, if you use a little force here, anyone can remove it. The closer it is, the more powerful it is. Remember that point well. So there is a way to take the form of receiving it with both hands firmly. But it's not that you are receiving it with both hands. Please make sure not to think about receiving it with both hands, even by mistake. At that time, one hand is also used for another purpose. So this is like a couple with both hands. Even at this time, it was here in Shiun Town, which I did last time. If the other party holds, this is fine. This way, the next technique can be used even though this is a hand, of course. But if you take it off, your shoulders will be like this after all. Actually, this is fine. So if you take this and leave it as it is, so it's just making it look like you're receiving it with both hands. Please understand only that. This is along with other issues. I'm not receiving this thing or everything with both hands. There are times when you receive one hand and use one hand for another purpose. Be well understood where you are. Let's go back again. It's a front kick, but what is the boundary history that is done here? In the case of a pre-kick in an impulse relationship, kick with the axis foot slightly bent from which hints you're doing it, I think most of them are. Slightly crooked. So kick with this shoulder. In the case of gravity after this, the opposite is the axis foot must be extended. Stretch. Stretch firmly when kicking. So let this be a simple story, and humans sink when they take a blow. There is both the use of power and the use of floating power. In this case, use the power to float. So this is a classic cipher move. The place where it seems to be protruding is kicking while growing. This must turn this floating power into a blow. There is a feeling that the power to float seems to be weak. That's why you have to float. This is the opposite. Floating technique is done with floating technique. The sinking power, both of which are separate forces. You have to do this. I will do a chest thrust from the focal point that I did earlier. At the same time as it grows strength to sink. If you do that, you don't have to sit down. You're floating. If you do this, you'll be floating with Modosuke-chan. You must also convert this floating force into a strike. This applies to thrusts as well. And then, with the current kick or even a rapid lower kick, you can counterattack. Utilize the sinking force to the maximum. This is the moment when you drop your supporting leg because you are using the force of sinking. Please switch between these two techniques. Just understand that there is no need to force it. If you do, why do people who specialize in high kicks or upper body kicks move their supporting heel when kicking? That's basically because they are maximizing the use of floating force. They kick while extending the supporting leg. Right? They are using the floating force to the maximum. It becomes clear at a glance when you try kicking. So hold it at the midsection and kick with a bang. It's the same, even with a spinning kick. Kicking by rotating the supporting leg like this, or kicking by firmly extending the supporting leg and striking. When it comes to which is stronger, clearly it's the power to lift by extending this supporting leg. Taking it with a bang is a much stronger force. Especially when returning from mid-level to high, remember firmly to use the power to sink down for lower levels. Okay, let's do a roundhouse kick left and right. Here we go. Okay, let's go the other way. Roundhouse kicks aren't originally a karate technique. But it seems they have been used as an applied form since ancient times. Especially in the case of the 50 style, it's not the back leg, but it's incredibly common to use the front leg traditionally. When you take a little stance and it takes this form, even if you kick with your left leg, I'll say it clearly, but surprisingly, you can hardly hit the actual target because it's at an angle. Because it's at an angle, even if you go poong, it will miss. However, if you smoothly take it, you can catch it. 50 Stream used this frequently. Especially the old 50-year-old aimed well. It's actually this part, right? Not above. When I kick there with a parn, when you get kicked there with your forefoot. To be clear, it will cause tremendous damage. So it's more than a front kick, old 50 style old, well used. This way of using your forefoot. Front kick. So actually here that's almost old. As a special way, it's a kick the inside using your toes. This was also often made in the old days. This uses the toe, especially the slightly upper part. When you get kicked around here, it's not money around here. There is tremendous damage just to kick this part. This soft place. Use your toes to kick in. This is a long time ago, just that there was something like that. Please understand, it seems that there are various forms of kicking in the competition. Because neither of this is denied, you're being done. Please do that as it is, just as a traditional gift, just how it was used. I think it's fine, if you understand. Yes, we will return. Let's kick the temporal joint. そのままやっていただいて、ただかつての伝統的な古いものとしてはどういう使い方をされていたかということだけ理解してもらえば結構だと思います。はい、じゃあ戻ります。食道の関節芸でいきましょう。Yes, are you sure? The lower kick of old Okinawa is lower. Actually, Okinawa has roads made of incredible stone blocks. Although they are now leveled, in the past they were kicked into. If you slammed your knee into the ground, it would mostly crack. So everyone used to kick in that way. That's why sideways kicks didn't originally exist. So we don't kick, but the traditional way of targeting this joint is to aim for the joint like this. Are you ready? Relax, relax. There's no need for a kick. Just relax your strength itself. It's scary, isn't it? The kicks from the old days, you see, aim for the joints like this, then kick here with a snap. Do you understand? Strike down towards the lower part. Farewell. I'll take it with a bang. So here's the tone. That's why the kicks of the old teachers. My master was like that too. When kicking the joints, kick like this. Kick as if kicking the ground, kicking slightly outward. Only raise it slightly when aiming for the opponent's knee joint from the inside. That's right. This is completely the same. Yes, yes. This is completely the form of twisting the knee joint. When you hit it with all your might, you do it at an angle about right below, so it's not here, you break it here. That's why, depending on the era and the place, techniques will change. That's the point. Just remember that it used to be like that in the past. Nowadays, if you hit it on the asphalt, it's unbearable. It's fine because it's the floor though. But if you were to hit the asphalt outside with a bang, these legs won't stand anymore. Please understand that the original way of fighting is to break it like that. This is also aiming for the joints originally, and the other is to hold the opponent's knee joint from the front. I usually do both, so it's not that difficult, but this is an extremely effective technique. If there's something in Street Fighter, the easiest thing is just to grab this. So it's the most comfortable. You just hold it firmly here, just that. If you're unlucky, the knee joint might come out. Also, everyone, step forward with your foot. If you can't step forward, you'll be in trouble. Step forward while walking. While stepping in, just by walking, you can restrain the opponent's foot. And if possible, please remember to knock the opponent down backwards. Anyone will fall if you do this. There are ways to walk like this, so if you hold with your thumb, it will intensify the pain and you won't be able to do anything. Press down here. Press down. Therefore, in the traditional way of stepping in with a sword, you restrain this part, so pull it there. Once you've learned this, anyone can do it.